Praise the Lord. My name is Seth Olale. Today I want to discuss a very important topic about World War III and the coming destruction of the middle class around the world. This is now what is coming in the year 2024 and the year 2025 as we go into the beast system that is going to be controlled by Barack Hussein Obama, who is the beast of Revelation chapter 13 and Revelation chapter 17. The global elite are planning to destroy the global economy, and they do plan to do this beginning this year, 2024, to accelerate the destruction of the middle class around the world. Remember, they have told you that you will own nothing and you will still be happy. That is according to the World Economic Forum, which is headed by Klaus Schwab, who is a billionaire and is the founder of the World Economic Forum. You have been told very clearly in black and white that in future you will own nothing and you will still be happy, which is a big lie. The truth is that you will own nothing and you will never be happy. The only people who are going to be happy are the rich billionaires and the rich politicians and their families, who will be serving the New World Order. But the rest of humanity, they are planning to bring in slavery, poverty, and global chaos and great bloodshed around the world. This is what is coming in the year 2024 and the year 2025. And I'm going to show you how they are planning to bring in the New World Order and to collapse the global economy, to destroy the entire middle class around the world, and also to destroy as many rich people around the world. The only rich people who are going to be left standing are the few billionaires who are going to run the world with Barack Hussein Obama. But many millionaires and many rich people, upper middle class and the middle class around the world, are about to be destroyed beginning in the year 2024 as we go into the year 2025. How are they going to do it? The first thing is they are going to start a world war, which they have already started around the world. World War III has already started around the world, and they are planning to accelerate it even more, so that they can depopulate the population of the world. Remember, the global elite, they believe that the world is overpopulated, and according to their development plans, the world can only sustain a population of 500 million people around the world. So they are planning to get rid of 8 billion people from the world. And they're going to do it through World War III, through pandemics. They're going to do it through famine. They're going to do it through false vaccination. They're going to do it through GMO food, food that cause cancer, the fake food that they are giving through Bill Gates and the multinational companies. So this is where the world is heading into 2024 as we enter 2025. I've drawn a map in front of me. As a good artist and a professional artist, I'm doing these maps on my own to serve the Lord Jesus Christ with my talent as a graphic designer, and I'm also a professional glass artist who was trained by a British engraver many years ago in the year 1996 when I was a young man. I've done a map of the global map that we are now seeing in front of us. In front of us is North America, beginning in Canada, then United States of America, and then we go down to Brazil and South America. And then here is Africa, the blessed continent. And then here we have Greenland, we have Britain, and then we have Western Europe, and then we have the Middle East, and then we have Russia. We have Russia here, and then we have China, we have India, and then we have Southeast Asia, we have Taiwan here, and then down here we have Australia. I'm going to show you how the global elite are planning to destroy the middle class around the world, and they are also planning to destroy the entire economy of the world. And they are planning to bring in a great famine and great food shortages around the world to kill as many people as possible so that they can depopulate the world. The first thing that they're going to do is they're planning to destroy the world economy. This they started doing in the year 2020 when they introduced the coronavirus pandemic. The coronavirus pandemic was a plan that was started by the globalist to destroy the global economy. When they allowed the coronavirus to come to the world, they brought about the global pandemic, and there was what is called they brought about the lockdown of the entire world economy when they shut down industries around the world. When they imposed lockdowns around the world, industries were closed, and many small businesses around the world were destroyed. Billions of people were rendered jobless when they declared massive lockdown around the world because of the coronavirus. This was stage one of destroying the world economy, and this was also the stage one of destroying the middle class around the world. Remember that these people, they do not want competition from the middle class. The big multinational companies that control the global industries and the world agricultural system and the big tech and all the companies that are owned by the billionaires who are members of the World Economic Forum, they don't want startups that are going to give them competition. They want to control the entire world by themselves. That is why they allowed the coronavirus to come into the world to bring about this lockdown around the world when millions of companies around the world were forced to shut down, and millions of people were forced to remain at home, jobless, and this is how they started destroying the middle class around the world in America, Canada, Central America, South America, in Western Europe, Russia, India, China, Africa, and Australia. This was stage one of destroying the global economy and destroying the middle class around the world. This started in the year 2020. And after that, many billions of people lost their jobs and many businesses collapsed around the world. So this is how they are destroying the middle class around the world. The coronavirus was released to destroy the middle class around the world when they brought about the lockdown of the global economy in the year 2020. Now, in the year in the year 2024, they are planning to release another virus which is going to be 20 times worse than COVID-19. We have already been told by Bill Gates and the World Health Organization that disease X is going to be worse, 20 times worse than COVID-19. So the next pandemic that they are planning to release is called disease X, and it is going to bring about another global lockdown around the world. And again, they're going to shut down the entire industries and factories around the world. And this is also going to create another round of massive poverty around the world. And this is the continued destruction of the middle class around the world. And also many rich people and upcoming millionaires and startups are going to be destroyed once they release disease X. I believe they're going to release it later this year, probably the middle of this year, 2024, or later in the year 2024, as we head into 2024, as we head into the year 2025. Disease X is coming, and we have been told that it is going to be 20 times worse than coronavirus. So you can imagine if 2020 was worse, when they locked the entire world, there was no schools, there was no universities, no colleges. People could not go to work in their factories, in hotels. There were no people working around the world. So what is going to happen once disease X is released and we are being told that it is going to be 20 times worse than coronavirus? So these people are planning to destroy the entire world economy, and their target is to destroy the middle class and all the millionaires around the world. In future, the world is only going to be run by rich billionaires. I'm talking about dollar billionaires, people who own dollar billionaires and euro billionaires. This is the people who control the World Economic Forum. Bill Gates, Elon Musk, and the billionaires who control America and Europe. So the next thing they're planning to do is to release a pandemic called disease X, and they're going to cause a lockdown around the world. Another lockdowns are coming around the world, which are going to be worse than what we saw in 2020. If you think you saw anything in 2020, then you are wrong. What is coming is horror, complete hell, when people are going to be forced to stay in their homes for months when this disease is released, and it is going to kill so many people around the world. And the next thing that also is coming is that they are planning to start World War III. World War III has already started between Russia and Western Europe and America. So World War III has already started. And this is their plan. They are planning to destroy all the oil fields in the Middle East, all the oil factories and oil refineries in the Middle East, in Saudi Arabia, in Syria, in Iraq, in Iran, in Lebanon, in North Africa, in Oman, Qatar, all the oil fields, oil refineries, and natural gas pipelines, and all the oil fields and natural gas pipelines and factories are going to be destroyed once World War III begins. This is the plan of the New World Order. They are planning to destroy all the oil fields and oil refineries around the world. The New World Order, they are planning to destroy all the oil fields in the Middle East. Once they destroy all the oil fields, then the world is going to be in a crisis. There's going to be an energy pandemic. And also remember, in 2022, they started a war between Ukraine and Russia. The war between Ukraine and Russia was started by the globalist, by the global elite, the New World Order or the Illuminati. And right now, Ukraine is destroying many oil factories and oil refineries and oil pipelines in Russia. America is giving Ukraine long-range missiles, which Ukraine is using to destroy Russia oil factories and oil refineries inside Russia. Remember, in the year 2022, in July, America and Europe Navy divers destroyed the Nord Stream 1 and Nord Stream 2 pipeline that was bringing natural gas and petroleum from Russia into Germany and Western Europe. Therefore, now Western Europe is being deindustrialized. The economy of Western Europe is collapsing as I'm speaking to you now. Germany is being deindustrialized. Britain and France are being deindustrialized because there's no longer any cheap oil and natural gas that is flowing from Russia into Western Europe. And also Russia used to export natural gas and oil to Europe through Ukraine. And this has now stopped. When America, Navy divers, and Sweden and NATO divers destroyed Nord Stream 1 and Nord Stream 2, so now there is no longer any cheap oil coming from Russia going into Western Europe. And then now at the same time, they already now started another war in the Middle East. They want to start a war between Israel and Iran, and this is going to be a devastating war. It might even go nuclear. And all these Arab nations are going to be forced to join the war against Israel. And Israel is now going to start destroying all the oil refineries and pipelines and all the shipping lanes and big ships, containers are going to be destroyed in the seas. We already see the Houthi rebels firing missiles to American and Israeli container ships in the Red Sea and in the Gulf of Aden and also around the Gulf of Oman. So once this war between Israel and Iran escalates into World War III, the Persian Gulf that is here is going to be blocked, and they're going to block the Straits of Hormuz, which is in this part. So this part is going to be blocked. There are no ship containers carrying petrol or natural gas from Iran, Iraq, Kuwait, or Saudi Arabia, or United Arab Emirates that is going to pass here through the Straits of Hormuz. Because Iran controls this part. It is a very narrow part. Some of it is even as narrow as 51 miles. So Iran is going to block this part. And there is no oil that is going to flow from the Middle East to the rest of the world, to India, to Japan, and to China. Once this is blocked, there is no oil that is going, and natural gas that is going to flow from the Middle East. And then at the same time, the Houthi rebels have already blocked this part. It is called the Bab el-Mandeb Passage. The Bab el-Mandeb Passage between Saudi Arabia and Yemen and Somalia has already been blocked by the Houthi rebels, who now possess hypersonic missiles, which they can destroy any shipping container that is passing through the Red Sea and is also passing through the Indian Ocean. So this part is going to be blocked, the Straits of Hormuz by Iran, and then the Red Sea, this part has already been blocked by Yemen rebels in Yemen, the Houthi rebels, who now have hypersonic missiles. No ship is going to leave or enter the Red Sea towards Europe, taking petrol and natural gas to Europe. And remember that Europe already, they don't have any cheap oil from Russia. And then now this part, the Suez Canal is also going to be blocked once the war between Israel and Iran and Arab nations escalates. Egypt is going to block the Red Sea, the Suez Canal, and also the many bombs and missiles are going to be falling in this part of the Suez Canal because Egypt is also going to attack Israel. Mark my words. Egypt is going to attack Israel, and all these Arab nations are going to attack Israel. I don't know about Saudi Arabia, but many Arab nations are going to attack Israel in the coming war, including Iraq and Saudi Arabia and United Arab Emirates and Yemen. And in North Africa, countries like Libya, Tunisia, and Algeria, they're all going to join this war against Israel. So these three parts are already blocked, and also this part is also going to be blocked. The Straits of Gibraltar, in the Straits of Gibraltar between Tunisia, Yemen, and Portugal is also going to be blocked. Remember that the world has got about 6 or 7 choke points. These are very strategic points which ships and shipping lanes pass through the continents. The world has got 6 or 7 strategic choke points around the world. I'm going to point them out to you. The first one here we can see is in the Panama Canal choke point, which is between Panama and Venezuela. This is where a majority of American ships pass through when they are going to China or in Southeast Asia and Japan. And also ships from China and Japan, they come to the west coast of America, and they also bring in their exports, and they also, some of them pass through Panama Canal, and they go up to the Gulf of Mexico, and some of them pass through Caribbean, going to the American East Coast of the New York, New Jersey, and Florida, and up to Canada. So Panama Canal is one of the strategic choke points around the world. The other choke point that we have around the world is the Straits of Gibraltar, which is between Portugal and Tunisia and near Algeria. The Straits of Gibraltar is also another choke point. If you block these choke points, like Panama and the Straits of Gibraltar, no shipping containers can pass through here. So you end up choking the global energy supply of petrol and liquefied natural gas that is used for cooking and heating in Europe and the US and Canada, and also around the world. So it's also used for cooking. And also when you block the shipping lanes, you cannot export petrol from the Middle East. So this part here is very strategic. And right now, Russia is already building up navy bases in Algeria. So if World War III breaks out, Russia is going to block this part. Russia and Algeria, they're going to block this part using hypersonic missiles. So there is no shipping lanes that is going to operate in this area through the Atlantic into the Mediterranean, or on their way to the Middle East, into the Red Sea and the Middle East. So this is another strategic choke point. And then the other strategic choke point in the world, the third one, is the Suez Canal. The Suez Canal, which is between Egypt and Israel and Jordan, is very strategic. If you block this part of the continent of Africa and Israel, between Africa and between Egypt and Israel, no ship is going to come between from the Mediterranean Sea and go into the Red Sea. And there is no ship that is going to come from Asia, from India, China, Japan, up the Red Sea into the Suez Canal on their way to Europe, and then they pass through the Straits of Gibraltar on their way to the US or Europe or Britain. So this Suez Canal is very important choke point around the world. If you block this part, there is no food that is going to pass coming into Africa, to Kenya, Ethiopia, Sudan, and South Africa. And also there is no oil that is going to flow from the Middle East, from Iraq, Iran, Kuwait, from the Persian Gulf, and going into the Red Sea, and then passing through the Suez Canal on its way to Europe. So this Suez Canal is very important. You block this part, no food is going to come to Africa from Europe, and at the same time, no energy, petroleum energy and natural gas is going to flow from the Red Sea, from the Middle East, through the Suez Canal on their way to Europe and the US, and even other parts of North Africa and West Africa. The other strategic choke point is here between Yemen and Djibouti and Somalia, and near Eritrea. It is called the Bab el-Mandeb passage, that is between the Arabian Sea to the Red Sea. This is a very strategic choke point, which has already been blocked by the Houthi rebels, who are now being given hypersonic missiles by Iran and Russia. So no food is going to flow from Western Europe through this part, and no food is going to come from India and China into North Africa, into Egypt, and North Africa, Libya, and Algeria, and the rest of those countries. And also, no petrol is going to flow up this part once this part is blocked. And the other strategic choke point in the world, the other strategic choke points around the world is between Singapore and Sumatra. This part, it is called the Straits of Malacca. It is between Singapore and Sumatra. This Singapore, Sumatra, and Indonesia. These islands here are very strategic because they lead the ships that are coming from China and Taiwan. They come down through the South China Sea, and then they enter the Straits of Malacca on their way to the Indian Ocean, and some of them go all the way to the Persian Gulf, and some of them go all the way into the Red Sea, to the Gulf of Aden, into the Red Sea on the way to Europe. So the Straits of Malacca, that is one between Singapore and Sumatra near Indonesia, is another strategic choke point. If you block this part of the world, you disrupt the entire global economy. Remember that America has got several military bases around this part of the world. And then when you go up between, this is Taiwan and this is China. We have got the other Straits of Taiwan Straits. If war breaks out between Taiwan and China Navy and military is going to block this passage, Navy passage, using hypersonic missiles. America Navy ships will not be able to pass through here. Even the American aircraft carriers will not be able to venture anywhere near here because they will be destroyed and they will be sunk by the hypersonic missiles that China already have. So this part is very important. Remember that all the things that are sold in American supermarkets, they're all manufactured in China and Taiwan. All the electronics, gadgets, and many cars and things that are used in the American supermarkets, even toilet paper, and many other products are manufactured in China and Southeast Asia, South Korea, and in Japan, So if war breaks out between China, Taiwan, and the United States of America, which is actually going to happen very soon, the states of Taiwan will be blocked, and American supermarkets will all be empty. So those are the choke points. And as I told you, the three things that the globalists want to control around the world: they want to control food, they want to control energy, and they want to control finance. Because by controlling food, you can control and manipulate human beings. By controlling energy, you can control and manipulate nations and governments. And by controlling finance, international finance, you can control entire continents and the entire world. And that is the goal and the desire of the New World Order, which is going to be headed by Obama and the globalists, the 10 kings that are mentioned in the book of Revelation chapter 10. That is now, I've now talked about the global choke points. I'm now going to talk about the global food supply, which they're also planning to destroy and disrupt. And they already started doing that in Ukraine in the year 2022. The world has got 6 major food supply baskets. The 6 major regions, 6 or 7 major regions where food is grown and produced around the world. There are 6 or 7 of them. The first one, we find them in Canada, and in America, the Canadian prairies and British Columbia in Canada, and in North American Midwestern states, Michigan, and middle states of Northeast America, and middle Canadian prairies. This is where majority of wheat, grains, and dairy farming and organic farming is grown, and even livestock in Canada. These are the food baskets of North America, in the Canadian prairies, Manitoba, Saskatchewan, and British Columbia. And also if you go to in the United States and Canada, between America and Mexico, all this part of America, California, and the middle states of America, going all the way to the Tennessee area, the Mississippi area, Texas, all this part is also rich in food production of America. And then if you go to South America, you've got rich food production in northeast of the South American continent. This is the Andes highlands. This area is rich in fertile food. And also we have Brazil, is also a food basket of the world. And also Argentina is also one of the major food baskets of the world. And then we go to Europe. You find that Ukraine is one of the major food baskets of the world. Ukraine and Russia are the major food baskets of Europe, where they grow a lot of sunflower, which is used for manufacturing vegetable cooking oil. Ukraine and Russia are the #1 producers of sunflower, which is used for producing and manufacturing vegetable oil. And now Ukraine is being destroyed by this world war that America and Europe has already begun. And Russia also is a major production area of wheat and other grains like like corn. Corn is produced in Russia, and also many other grains and cereals are produced in Russia and Ukraine. And also we have Western Europe, the cities like countries like Netherlands and Germany and Poland and even France in Western Europe. They produce a lot of food, but the globalists are destroying all the agricultural farms and farming in Western Europe. They say that farming produces products that affect the climate change. So the governments in Western Europe are removing all the farms in Europe. If you go to Europe, the globalist and the World Economic Forum, they are destroying agriculture. All the farms that Europeans have are now being possessed by force by the governments, and farmers are being driven from their land and from their farms, which their families have owned for hundreds of years, especially in Netherlands and Germany and Poland and France and all of Western Europe. Farmers are now being frustrated, and they are being told that they cannot use fertilizer that has got nitrogen based, and all the farms and farms that they used to grow and raise up livestock farming, including dairy farming, they are being shut down by the globalists, because they say that farming and fertilizers and the gas that cows produced when they belch or when they emit gas from their backside is destroying the climate, and the global is contributing to climate warming or global warming. Therefore, farmers and farming is being destroyed in Western Europe. Therefore, Ukraine is already being destroyed. There is no more enough food that is coming from Ukraine. Remember that one of the biggest dams, hydroelectric power dams in Europe, was destroyed. Therefore, Ukraine can no longer do any more irrigation. The largest dam in Europe was destroyed in Ukraine using a missile, which I believe was launched by NATO or Ukraine soldiers, but they were blaming Russia. So this is how they are planning to bring about global famine, where they are planning to starve billions of people to death. And then also other parts of Africa where there is enough food is North Africa, and also Eastern Africa between Sudan, Western Kenya, Uganda, all the way to Tanzania. And then also we've got parts of Nigeria, West Africa that has got enough food. And then also we've got Congo, which is a Garden of Eden on its own. Congo has got enough food. In fact, the Sub-Saharan Africa has got enough food to feed the entire world. The Sub-Saharan continent has got enough food and fertile soil and enough rain to feed the entire world. But they cannot allow that. The best thing that the globalists have been doing is to cause war in Africa. Remember, right now there is a World War III that is happening between America and Russia. America is supporting the rapid support forces in Sudan, and Russia is supporting the Sudanese government. And there's a great war that is already happening here. There's also another great war that is about to happen here between Russia and France over these former French colonies, Niger, Mali, and these other, Senegal, Cote d'Ivoire. France is not going to leave these countries in peace. Another war is going to brew up here. Remember, even the First World War and the Second World War, they also fought in Africa, in North Africa, West Africa, and even East Africa, even Southern Africa. Both the First World War and the Second World War were fought in Africa. So the coming World War III is also going to be fought in Africa, because Africa is very strategic to these people. The other major food basket around the world is the nation of India. India is a major food export. In fact, the 40% of the rice that people consume around the world is grown and produced from India. So India is a major food producer, especially rice and wheat, and also vegetables and many other products come from India. Because remember, they get enough rain through the monsoon rain that comes from the Indian Ocean. And also another major food producer in the world is China. China also produces a lot of food for its population and also for export. China produces a lot of wheat, corn and barley, and many other agricultural products. So those are the major food centers of the world. So right now, China is no longer exporting a lot of its food. China is now the biggest hoarder of grain and cereals and all agricultural food in the world. China is now hoarding its food and has already started telling its population to hoard food as far as the year 2020 because they know that World War III is coming. The same to India. India is no longer exporting some of its rice to the rest of the world. And remember, Ukraine now is no longer exporting a lot of food because there is war that is happening there. And all the fertile land in Ukraine have already been grabbed and taken over by the American bankers because they are giving Ukraine all these billions of dollars, and Ukraine has surrendered all the land in Ukraine as security and guarantee to all the banks that are giving Ukraine all this money. So Ukraine right now is owned by the American billionaires, the globalists, who control the biggest banks in America. Ukraine now belongs to the globalists, and they are now in possession of all this land. And that is what they want to do with Russia. They want to defeat Russia and grab all this land, fertile land in Russia, and divide Russia into about 10 states so that America and Europeans can take over Russia the way they did to Africa in 1848. So now, once the World War III breaks out between Israel, America, and Syria and Iran, and the entire Middle East is engulfed in war, and all the oil pipelines and oil refineries are destroyed in the Middle East, there will be no food to be transported because all these choke points will be blocked by missiles, and war will be raging in the Middle East. The Straits of Hormuz will be blocked by Iran, and the Bab el-Mandeb passage in between Yemen and Djibouti is also going to be blocked, and the Suez Canal is also going to be blocked, and the Straits of Gibraltar are also going to be blocked. So there's not going to be any food because no shipping container is going to risk sending their ships into the seas to pass through this region where there is war, and those ships are going to be hit by hypersonic missiles. So the global economy is going to stand still. There will be no ships going across the world. Remember that also America wants to start another war between America and Taiwan versus China. America has just given Taiwan, I think, $9 billion 1 week ago, so that the Taiwan can fight China. Therefore, when that war breaks out, these Taiwan straits will be blocked, and American supermarkets will not be able to get many of their products. Many supermarkets in America are going to be empty. And also, this part of the world is also going to be blocked once World War III begins, because China and Russia are going to target these American military bases here. The same to North Korea. North Korea is also going to target these areas, and there will be no shipping movements around the world. And then once all these choke points, the Taiwan Straits is blocked, once the Straits of Malacca is blocked, and also once the Straits of Hormuz in between Iran and Qatar is blocked, and once this region, the Bab el-Mandeb passage is blocked by the Houthi rebels, there will be no shipping going to any part of the world through the Suez Canal and through the Red Sea. Also, this part is also going to be blocked and destroyed during the coming war. And also this part is also going to be blocked by the Russian army and the Nigerian and the Algerian navy using hypersonic missiles. So these parts are going to be blocked. And also the Panama Canal is also going to be blocked. In fact, the Panama Canal is already blocked because of there is not enough rainfall in this part of the world. So the Suez Canal, the Panama Canals, the Panama Canal is already very shallow. So many ships cannot pass through the Panama Canal. They are being forced to offload many of their containers. And up to now, America has got almost 500,000 containers that are now stranded in Panama Canal. Because the Panama Canal is very shallow, because of famine and lack of rain. Therefore, already there is a crisis that is now coming upon the world. So the plan is to destroy the global middle class, destroy the middle class worldwide. They are going to collapse the US dollar and the euro once this World War III begins between Israel and Iran, and the oil prices shoot up, and many banks around the world are going to collapse. And then after that, they are going to bring in the central bank digital currency that is coming next. They're also going to cause a worldwide blackout. According to Klaus Schwab, who is the CEO of World Economic Forum, Klaus Schwab is saying that very soon the world is going to experience a worldwide blackout, whereby the world is going to experience a cyber attack. Klaus Schwab is warning that there is going to be a cyber attack, an international cyber attack around the world, whereby, and because of this, all internet is going to be destroyed. They're also saying that Russia is planning to cut undersea internet cables. That is what the commander of the NATO military alliance has already said, that Russia is planning to cut undersea internet cables. Therefore, there is a worldwide blackout that is coming to the world. They're also saying that there is a cyber attacks that are coming to Europe and the United States. They're saying that Chinese sleeper cells from North Korea and Iran are already hiding inside America, and they're waiting for orders from China, from Russia, from North Korea, and from Iran to attack American infrastructure, to collapse the entire electrical grid in America, and to collapse the entire internet in America and Canada and the rest of the world. As I told you before, the coronavirus was allowed to come to the world to cause global poverty, and also to destroy industries around the world, and to destroy small and medium-sized industries around the world, and also to collapse nation states. By destroying nations' economy, you end up destroying the governments and the nations of the world. Because once the coronavirus came and there was lockdowns around the world, there were no industries operating. And once there are no industries, there are no jobs. And once there are no jobs, government cannot collect taxes. And this is how the world economy and the middle class was being destroyed, beginning in the year 2020. And now this is even going to be worse once they release the next pandemic, which they are now calling Disease X. They are going to release it, I believe, this year or early 2025. But I believe that before the end of this year, we're going to see Disease X being released by the globalist. Therefore, they are going to ban farming in many parts around the world. They want people to start eating insects and bugs, and food that is manufactured in factories, even meat that is manufactured in factories. And they're also going to destroy the global energy supply once World War III begins, and they block off all the energy, all the shipping lines, which I've told you. Once they block all the choke points around the world. Also, when Disease X is released, they're going to bring in the new lockdowns, and also another way, They're also going to bring cyber attacks around the world. And once cyber attacks happen, there is no trade that is going to happen around the world. Because most of the world economy is now centralized. Everybody around the world is using the internet. So once the cyber attacks once cyber attacks happen around the world, the entire world economy is going to shut down. And this is going to cause many nations to go to war, and it is going to cause civil wars around the world, and many governments are going to be unstable, and this is how the middle class is going to be destroyed. And once this happens, this is now how they are going to move in and take over the world to bring in the new world order of a one world government and a one world economy and a one world religion that is headed by the beast, who is nobody else but Barack Hussein Obama, the beast of Revelation chapter 13 and Revelation chapter 17. So please share this video with as many people as possible. Please share this video with at least 10 people so that you can inform them of the things that are going to happen beginning middle of 2024 as we go into the year 2025. Mark my words, all these things that I've told you are going to happen because these are the end times. Share this video with at least 10 people because YouTube is suppressing my videos. God bless you and God keep you in Jesus' name. Amen.